A hypothesis test. How do we know that this is a hypothesis testing question? There's a couple of clues here. One is that the first sentence says that someone or something or some company claims something. At the end of this problem, it says that we're using a significance level, a percentage significance level. These are the clues that we are using a hypothesis test. In addition to that, it asks, is there enough evidence to reject or not fail to reject? These are hypothesis testing words. So the first thing that we want to do is be able to translate the claim into an inequality, right? It says that the mean wait time is 6.8. The word is mathematically means equals. So K is equal to 6.8. Now remember, the location of this statement matters. If the statement includes the equals, whether it's one of these three inequalities, that means this statement belongs in the null hypothesis. If the statement does not include equals and is one of these inequalities, then that statement belongs in the alternative hypothesis. So whatever statement is given to you first, make sure you put it in the right place. Because this one says K is equal to 6.8, that means this goes into the null hypothesis. That means that the claim is in the null hypothesis. And the alternative hypothesis, in this case, is the opposite of equals, which is not equals. Right? Equals has an opposite which is not equals. Less than or equal to has an opposite which is greater than. Greater than or equal to has an opposite which is less than. But again, it depends on what's given to you, where what the claim is located based on what the statement says. Whether it's equal or not equal, that means that goes into the null. If it's equal, not equal, goes into the alternative. So from here, we want to highlight and identify the main components. Our mu naught is our claim value, 6.8. N is equal to 19. That's the sample size. The mean wait time is 6.7. This is the measured statistic. And the standard deviation that was calculated is equal to 1.24. And then 5% is our level of alpha. So that is all this over here. One thing is, if n is greater than or equal to 30, then you're going to use a z-test. If n is less than 30, you're going to use a t-test. So because n is equal to 19, less than 30, we're going to do a t-test when we perform this test. One more thing is we want to draw our rejection region. Data is normally distributed, so we can draw a normal distribution. We can center it at our claim value, 6.8. And because this is a two-tailed test, what that means is we're going to have two separate rejection regions. One of them on the left-hand side and another one on the right-hand side with two critical values at the border of each. Alpha is equal to 0.05. Alpha represents the total shaded region, the percentage of the total shaded region. Since we have two regions, that means 0.05 divided by 2. Each of these regions represents 0.025 or 2.5%. So let's put this into our calculator. Let's find our TI-84 calculator. Let's wait for it to load up because I didn't prepare this in advance. Let's hit Stat, move over to Tests. Now again, this is, so if you chose a z-test, choose 1. If you chose a t-test, choose 2. Make sure that your input says stats. And then you put in all the stuff, all the numbers that we identified. Claim number 6.8, mean is 6.7, SX is 1.24, Sample size is 19. SX is standard deviation, by the way. Sample size is 19. Over here, for the mu naught, for this part, you have to choose what tail of the test is. And here, a left tail means that the inequality points to the left. A right tail means inequality points to the right. So this is a two-tailed test, which is not equal to, so we'll choose that one. And then we'll calculate it. And what we're trying to find here is P, 0.729, or rather 0.73. Since P is equal to 0.73, we're comparing this with alpha, and 0.73 is greater than alpha. If P is greater than alpha, then you fail to reject HO, and that's exactly what we're doing here. We're failing to reject the null hypothesis because P is greater than 0.05. So do we support this claim? Remember, if we are not rejecting or failing to reject the null hypothesis, that does not automatically mean we are supporting the claim or not supporting the claim. In this case, because the claim and the null hypothesis are together, that means failing to reject the null hypothesis means that we are supporting the claim. That the mean wait time at Wiley is equal to 6.8. Sorry about that.